Hey, how are you? It's Mary Bicknell. Welcome to Lead a Life Uncommon, where every Monday you're going to get a little biz bite to start your week off right. And then every Wednesday, we're going to deep dive into all things personal growth, where my goal is to help you have an aha every single week. You know, this podcast is for you, for the woman who's the go-getter, who knows there's more inside. And you know what? You're ready to smash through that self-imposed glass ceiling so you can finally see what you're made of. Ready? Let's go. Today, we're going to talk about your leadership and your legacy. And guess what? You're living those out loud right now. That's right. It's visible to everybody, whether you realize it or not. And do you even ever have that like as a thought? I'm showing up like a leader right now. I'm showing up like a leader in my business or my life. Or do you ever think about I'm creating a legacy for my family, for my community, for my children, because of the actions that you're imparting to them, your beliefs, your philosophies, your finances? Like, what is the legacy that you're passing on? So today we are talking about the L in the word bold. As a reminder, this is part 3 of a 4-part series about being bold. And so that's an acronym that I love to use that stands for brave, outgoing leader, deciding to create a life uncommon. So go back, listen to the one on being brave, the one on being outgoing. Today we're talking about leadership. And you know, there's something about leadership and legacy. They seem to just really go hand in hand. You know, the thing today I wanted to share with you is the research that I did for this podcast, all the thought work, all the reading, all of my own reflecting back to myself being a leader, the leaders I've had in my life that were good and bad. You know, my goal for you today is really sit and think and come up with your own thoughts around this. This podcast today is so full of all kinds of questions, and I bet you don't ask them very often. In fact, I know you don't, right? I know if you're anything like my clients or my friends, you know, you're probably not just sitting around thinking about leadership. You're probably not really having a conversation about how are you currently being a leader. So make sure you download this, and I want to encourage you to come back to this again and again and again as you evolve. Grab some paper. You're going to hear things today you've never heard before, and I want to invite you to write these questions down and journal them. And then ask your friends, ask your family, get into discussions, get clear for yourself. So starting out, let's really ask the question, what's a leader? You know, if we really look it up and we look at the thesaurus, the descriptions don't feel very much like a woman. They feel very masculine. It's like chief, commander, director, head, officer, ruler. You know, we don't typically ascribe these kind of titles to women, do we? I'm wondering if that's part of the problem here, is that if this is our definition and we don't even think about our true, what is our own personal definition for leader, but somehow women have this vibe, we have this unspoken thing that you're the chief. I don't know a lot of women who are just like, I want to just the chief in that negative sense, right? Here's the thesaurus for legacy: estate, gift, tradition, bequest, birthright, endowment, heirloom. They feel a little different too, don't they? So how as a woman can you be a leader in your life and create a legacy that you're proud of? And this could be with your work, your contribution to the world. Really, that's what we're talking about, right? Contribution, your fulfillment. That's what you're here for. Today, I want you to think about stepping into leadership is uncommon. Most people don't see themselves as leader, don't claim themselves as leaders. And some of you might be here and you're like, heck yeah, Mary, I know I'm a leader, or I'm a thought leader. Still, stick around. Stick around, because you're going to be hearing some things. I really am going to challenge your thinking. I'm going to have you go a little deeper than surface acknowledgement. Of course, I'm a leader, Mary, of course. The reality is you're demonstrating your leadership every single day, whether you like it or not. I want you to really hear this. Every day you are showing up in a certain way, a certain manner of being in the world. And you're either being a fantastic leader or you're not. Like there's no in between here. That's one of the things I was looking, where's the gray? Where's the gray? There's no gray. You're either a fantastic leader or you're not. And sharing your leadership style leaves a legacy in your wake. So we're going to really talk about, what does this even mean, being a leader? I want you to get this. Like, this is big stuff. This is the important stuff. This is the stuff that will allow you to be proud of yourself. So today I'm going to help you truly take inventory of what this means to you. And even if you do, even if you are a leader, you recognize and you're proud of yourself and you're like, yes, I'm leaving a beautiful legacy. Great. Do the exercises that I would give you so that you can create a bigger impact. Here's the bottom line. Here's the twist. I want you to first be the leader of yourself. I want you first to create a legacy for yourself. So often, women do all these things for other people. And of course, you know what? I get it, right? I'm a former psychotherapist. Currently, I'm a leadership mentor. I'm a business strategist for women. I'm helping my clients have emotional and financial wealth so that, frankly, they can have all the free time to do whatever the hell they want, whenever they want to. You got to do this for yourself. You've got to learn to lead yourself before you can lead others and create the big thing that you want in this life. You know, a leader is someone who inspires others, maybe to follow a cause. And remember, the legacy is the result of said cause. So what you're doing right now in your life, how are you leading yourself? How do you want some change? How do you know you're leading yourself? This is the question sometimes. People, it's like you're just, you know, sometimes people just don't want to take responsibility for things. And I get it. I mean, when you're like, go be a leader, that feels like really heavy, right? Really like, oh my God, now I got to be responsible for everybody. No, that's not necessarily what it means. What it does mean is being brave. It does mean being truthful and honest and focused and having integrity and creating a vision and having a vision. You know, leaders, we strive for a result and a goal, and we're willing to do the work to make it happen. And I believe so strongly that part of learning to be disciplined enough to lead yourself is what needs to happen so you can stop letting yourself down. Because I know sometimes you let yourself down. You're not a very good leader to yourself. So look, how often do you even allow yourself to have this big ass vision and then really do the work to make it happen? You know, so often women have this idea, they have a big idea and they're like, oh, it's like they have an incredible thought. They don't even realize, oh my God, this is a thought that's needed in the world. They are a thought leader. They don't even recognize it. And what happens is they are not sure like how to accomplish it. And because they're not sure how to accomplish it, they just give up. Even though, my friends, even though that thought was juicy and new and unique and different and special and needed, but she didn't know how to follow through and make it happen. We're going to talk about that. I'm here today to help you think of your vision, to put some action steps right in front of you and support you in creating this in your life so that you have a legacy for your life that you're proud of. So let me ask you, do you focus right now? Like, do you focus? I think there's I guess, I don't know. I realized like, oh my God, I have all these acronyms. As you get to know me, I have acronyms and I like things in threes. We'll talk about that another time. I did a Biz Bites recently on the hybrid marketing system, and I started with one of the three pieces of the hybrid marketing system. Anyhow, I like things in threes. I like having acronyms. Why? Because I want simplicity for you. I want to teach you simplicity. I want to teach you how to accomplish your goals so that you can feel proud of yourself. So I know that there is an acronym for the word focus, right? I think it's follow one course until successful. Do you do that? Do you decide on something and then you follow through? You focus until you make it happen, until you are successful, or do you get distracted? So part of the problem here is if you don't have a clear vision of what you want out of your life, you're going to do the very opposite of that. Okay, really, it's this simple. Ready? If you don't have a clear vision, I'm going to repeat myself. If you don't have a clear vision for what you want out of your life, and you don't step into becoming the leader of yourself to make that happen, guess what? You're going to create chaos. You're going to create chaos. You're going to do the very opposite of being simple, clear, focused. You're going to be distracted, and you're going to create what I like to call as crazy busy. You know, this is what happens. Sometimes when you don't make a decision about, and you don't allow yourself to say, this is what I really, really want, and you don't follow through and focus and lead yourself to attaining the thing that you really, really say that you want, you will get so crazy busy. In other words, you're going to have this massive list of to-do, a bunch of BS that doesn't take you toward the goal, toward the thing that you want, because you're afraid. In other words, being a leader, it simplifies your life because everything around, it's easy. It's a yes or no. Does this thing help me get to my goal? Yes or no. If it doesn't, you don't do it, period. But if you don't have a vision, if you don't have a goal, if you don't have something that you're striving for, and it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter whether it's business. It doesn't matter whether it's losing 20 pounds. It doesn't matter if you want to have a better relationship with your family, your kid, your husband, it doesn't matter if you want to try, do Mount Everest, like whatever it is. Doesn't matter. It's like, if you don't have a goal for evolving yourself, you're going to be doing a bunch of crap that doesn't mean anything. And you're going to be so crazy busy. And how many women do you know who are like, oh my God, I'm so crazy busy? I'm so tired of that. I'm bored with that. I'm bored out of my freaking mind with people talking about being so crazy busy because you're choosing it. It's a choice, my friends. You're choosing crazy busy. Don't try and don't try and sell me on, no, Mary, really, I can't, I had to do this. No, you didn't. You didn't have to do shit. You decided I'm going to give up on my dream. Really, I think that. If you're going to give excuses, it's the same thing as just giving up on your dream. You think somehow the excuses are reasons. They're not. And when you get so crazy busy, you become what I call a floating head. So what's a floating head? It's someone who's really disconnected, right? You're really not much more than that to-do list. So I know this is really like in your face right now. And I'm okay with that. Today, I want to wake you up and I want you to recognize, my friends, you are a leader currently. You're either a great leader or you're not. And I want to support you in becoming that leader that you're so, so proud of. That you're so proud of. I want you to feel what it feels like. To feel proud of who you are right now in the world. And to have joy in that. And to delight in that. And to delight yourself. Ugh, that chokes me up. It really chokes me up. When was the last time you were delighted by your own amazingness? How often? Or were you just sometimes just a floating head? Or you're disconnected and you're not really, it's just you're crazy busy floating head of all these things on the to-do list that really don't amount to fulfillment for you. I'm being brutally honest with you because I'm wondering how brutally honest you are with yourself. Not brutal. I might be giving you a little kick in the butt right now. My clients have said to me, oh my God, Mary, you kick me in the ass while you're giving me a hug. And as a clinician, as a former psychotherapist, I'm always like, well, I don't know if that sounds good. But some of us just need a little kick in the butt. We need a wake-up call. I have somebody in my life. Actually, I have several people in my life who I love when they help me wake up. See, I'm a believer that women are so powerful. And friend, when you're bullshitting yourself and giving yourself excuses disguised as reasons. Today, I want you to think about, what can you do so that tonight, when you put your head on the pillow, you feel proud of yourself. Because I know you did not grow up to be a follower. I know when you were a little girl, you had big ass dreams. And you know what? Saying, when I grow up, I'm going to be a follower. That sure as heck wasn't one of them. Being part of the flock is being common. I am here to help you lead a life uncommon. Lead a life uncommon. Lead. Why do we need more female leaders? Well, look around. Why are so, well, it's like, well, first of all, we're half the population. So we're super underrepresented in so many fields. There's only 2.4% of women who are CEOs in Fortune 500 companies. 2.4% of women sitting at the CEO seat in Fortune 500 companies. That is astonishing. Women only owned 36% of small businesses. And while it's kind of exciting that there's more than 12 million of us that own our own business, it's still a smaller percentage. We're not getting paid what men are getting paid. We're still around 73 cents to the dollar. And, women of color, even less. We still don't have the same amount of wealth as men do. And frankly, I want you to be so wealthy that you never, ever, 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 ever have to rely on anyone, including your man or your partner. There's other leadership opportunities, right, outside of business. So think about your local community. I bet you, it's still the same, right? We know this. It's still mostly men running everything. So there's leadership opportunities outside of business. So some of you are listening and you're not business owners. Some of you are listening and you love Biz Bites Monday and you are listening. Really, it first starts with you leading yourself in all areas of your life and then leading by example. I want you to ask yourself right now, who in your life can you look at and feel as though she's an example of a kind of woman you'd love to be? That's the kind of life that you want. You've appreciated what she's created, or that woman has the kind of impact in her business that you would love to be able to have. Who is that? I want you to think about that right now. I want you to really think about this. Do you surround yourself with women who are leading the kind of life or leading a business that you think, oh, that's amazing? Are you around women who are leading themselves and leading themselves well? Are they healthy? Do they take care of themselves? Are they conscious of the words that they use to describe life, to describe themselves, to describe their partners? Right? Are they complaining? Are they criticizing? The people you surround yourself, that is a wake-up call for you. Look around, my friends. You're like the people you hang around. You're like them. Now you might say, well, I'm the leader of those people. All right, great. Hopefully they are also leaders. Because look, it's okay. There's plenty of leaders to go around. And you can find your community of amazing, dynamic female leaders going for it. I want to encourage you to look for that. What does feminine leadership even mean? And why do we even say this? I see this in the community. I see this online. I see this everywhere, feminine leader, feminine power. Why are we also needing to say feminine anything? I know that there's arguments for both, right? We talk about, masculine, the masculine side of women, the feminine side of women. Is it divisive or is it helpful? I don't know. I don't really have a strong opinion either way. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Make sure you message me. Do you think we need to say feminine leader? She's a fantastic feminine leader. How have you already been a leader in your life? Let's go over that. Maybe you're investing in your own brain. Leaders, we love to learn. That's what we are. We're learners, right? So are you investing in your brain? Are you investing in your growth? Are you investing in your potential? Think about it. Do you have those qualities where you are allowing outside input, advisors to support you in becoming better? When we think about leaders who are seen as dictators, those people were not open to their own growth, right? We need to have a strong opinion, and yet we need to be flexible from receiving other input. What about this? Have you ever had a micromanager? Oh my God, right? And they're so controlling, and they're just like watching everything you do, and somehow they have a title, but they're really not effective managers. They're controlling out of their own limiting beliefs about what's possible. And we know when people are controlled or attempted to be controlled or micromanaged, right? What happens? It shuts people down. It shuts people down. We need leaders that have vision. We want leaders to be able to paint and cast an idea that's going to pull people forward. That's what we want out of leadership. So this is something to ask yourself. Are you casting a vision? And are you able to articulate it in a way that has people saying, I want to come along? That's what you need to think about. Like, really think about. Here's an example of some really great leaders, right? I mean, think about it even in your own community. Is there someone in your community and they're just like the one that everyone talks about to, do a neighborhood cleanup? Maybe they're doing something on your local council. Maybe it's the PTA mom who is so organized and can cast the vision of what's possible within the school. And of course, there's business leaders. Here's how to ask yourself a couple questions about, are you being controlling, that kind of non-effective leader? Or are you coming from, instead of controlling, are you being a contributor? That's an easy way to help you understand whether or not you're being an effective leader. Are you coming from a place of do it my way, fingers grasping everything, clutching, controlling? Or are you coming from a place of how can I contribute? Where can I come from a place of service? This is why a lot of times women don't claim their leadership. Think about it. They don't claim their leadership. They're just thinking they're just being helpful. Great. You probably are being helpful. And you're probably being helpful in a way that's leading by example, leading with service. Think about it. Ask yourself, where in my life am I a leader? Where in my life am I leading from a place of contribution and a place of service? Why do I have you asking all these questions? Because I want you to claim and own where you are in your life right now. So if you're not super happy with it, guess what? The good news is, oh my gosh, you can evolve, you can change, you can make improvements. And you can do it lovingly and compassionately and with a sense of curiosity. How did I get this legacy? The legacy for me not being a leader. Here, look, in my family, like I grew up and my mom definitely was not the leader that was strong and dynamic and gave me an example of what a dynamic, strong woman is like. No, I didn't have that. Right? I grew up and, the message for me was be quiet, not be bold, right? The total opposite of being bold, not being outgoing. We talked about that last week. What's it like to be outgoing or courageous, brave? We talked about that the week prior. What's the legacy story and message that you've gotten from your family, your community, your mom, your parents? Were you raised and did your parents say to you, of course you're a leader, be strong? Did they honor that or did they not? This is really what you have to think about. We're going to do another podcast all on money mindset and breaking through your money legacy. Oof, it's going to be so good. It's these same kind of ideas. It's these same concepts that you need to be aware of. We're going to talk a lot about that another day. And you're going to love that. You're going to have a massive money mindset breakthrough. I can hardly wait, but today's leadership. So here's some other things we want to think about when we think about leaders. I'm going to ask you in the form of questions. Ready? Are you adaptable? Are you full of determination? You might call it moxie, or you might even call it grit. Can you be tenacious for the long haul? You know, sometimes when we are leading something and we're moving forward, charging forward, oh my God, it's going to take a while. Can you cast that vision and hold the energy so that people will follow you, even if it takes a while? Here's a good one. Do you regularly trust your gut over the advice of people who you don't actually value their input? Let me say this again. Let me say it differently so you can hear it a couple different ways. Do you honor your intuition, my friends? If we think about feminine leadership and feminine power and just being women, frankly, we have this amazing gift that's called intuition. And I believe so strongly that amazing leadership relies in part on intuition. You might call it saying trusting your gut. You know, my company is called See the Signs. So I'm very big on seeing the signs. They're everywhere if you allow yourself to see them. Do you trust that above the advice of people? Actually, you don't even give a flying fig on what they think, but somehow the words that they say to you cast a doubt on your own intuitive knowing. We're going to, like, intuition. You're knowing that you know is so important. Do you fear the judgment of other people, or are you truly solid in your opinion? Do you have trusted advisors? And I don't mean your girlfriend. I don't mean some other colleague. I truly mean a mentor, a consultant, a coach, someone in your life that can reflect back to you with no judgment attached. They don't know you. You know, we were think about it. You know, it's like, hey, mom, is this a good idea? Hey, Sally's sister, is this a good idea? And they're like, yes, that's a great idea. Or they're going to really just be so negative, right? Oh my God, I can't believe we're going to do that. You want to have advisors who you know can give you support and help you make your own decisions by looking at all the information, and they can do it in a way that's not judgmental, that's not full of judgment. What about, how are you with your team? How are you with your staff? Are you leading them or are you managing them? How are you empowering people in your life to become a leader? You know, we think about this as that, you know, I'm a mom. My daughter is turning 15. Oh my God, I can't even believe it. And ever since she was little, I would talk to her about leadership. And the truth of the matter is, it's not always easy to be the leader, or it's not always easy to try and claim that position. The truth is, sometimes, you know, you look around, like, have you ever been in a group and like nobody's doing squat, and it kind of annoys you? And finally you just step in because you're like, somebody's got to do it, right? You're willing to take it on. You're willing to, you know, move the thing, the goal, the situation forward. It's not always easy to raise your hand. I know. I want you to raise your hand, my friends. Raise your hand. But, you know, our daughters, our children are watching. They're watching our example of leadership. They're watching their unfolding of the story of our lives is their legacy. Are you recognizing they're witnessing when it comes to relationships and money and commitment and sacrifice and compassion and all the things? How do you become a woman that people want to follow or maybe work for? Here's your uncommon action step for the week. I know I've already asked you a lot of questions. Here's some more, and I really want to see your results. I want to hear what you have to say. I'd love for you to tag me, DM me, email me at mary@marybicknell.com. I want to hear what you have to say about these questions. Ready? What's your definition of leadership? How are you currently being a leader in your own life or your own business or a community? How can you acknowledge right now Ready? Right now, what you're doing every day that's in alignment with that big dream or not. How can you acknowledge it? I think acknowledging your behavior, your thoughts, your actions is certainly the very first step in change. What kind of legacy do you want to leave? What kind have you already had? What kind of legacy has been like imprinted on you that you're recognizing? And you could call it legacy, and think about it another way. It could be the story. This is the story of your life. How many times have people said to you, this is what you should do? They've written a story for you. Do you want to be the go-to in your field? What about choosing to be a thought leader? What does that even mean, thought leader? That means, my friends, you have new ideas. You have new ideas. This is why I'm giving you a lot of questions, because your brain loves questions, and I want you to come up with your own answers. And that's what a thought leader is. It's someone who allows themselves to listen to their own ideas and thoughts. Now, some people say, well, gosh, Mary, it's like, I don't know, is there any original thought? Yeah, there are plenty of original thoughts. You have to remember, everything that you see around, you're listening to this, oh my God, everything that we see, feel, touch, taste, everything was at one time a thought that now is the result of that thought. Let's not have the thought. This would be a terrible thought. Ready? There are no new thoughts. That's a horrible thought. Never think that. That would mean like the end of everything, right? The end of evolution as human beings. If we're never going to have a new thought, and it doesn't have to be so big, like I had a new thought on how to cure cancer. It doesn't have to be that big, you guys, for you to be a leader. It could be a new thought about how I'm going to have a different conversation at the dinner table. It could be a new thought about how I'm going to be able to transition when I walk in the door from work. That I'm going to be the woman I want to be in my home, just like I'm being the woman I want to be when I'm at work. Oh, there's so many good things that we can talk about. Are you willing to take the risk to step up and claim the fact that you are currently leading? Whether you like where you're leading yourself or not, you're leading. Are you willing to take the risk, even through the fear of change? Being bold and leading a life uncommon. Look, I'm telling you, you're going to feel uncomfortable. I'm not going to lie to you ever. It's uncomfortable. If you're not a little bit uncomfortable, I'm going to tell you, you're not growing. Deciding to lead and be a stronger leader or a thought leader, or even trying to decide what that even means for you, and leading yourself and following through for yourself, that's going to probably be uncomfortable. I want you to ask yourself, are you willing? Are you willing to become disciplined enough to be that woman that follows through on her word, her goals and her dreams, no matter what? I promise you, when you do, because you've done that already, you followed through on plenty of stuff. Are you willing to give yourself the freedom to truly own the responsibility of your life? Are you willing to choose you, the real you, and not the false legacy one that someone else gave you growing up? See, there are many ways you can show up for yourself and lead yourself first and choose the kind of legacy that you want. And you know what it starts with? It starts with deciding. And that's part of our equation that we're talking about. That's number 4, part 4 in this 4-part series on being bold, brave, outgoing leader. Today we talked about being a leader, and next week we're going to talk about deciding. So today, decide you are a leader, and you'll hone your leadership skills every single day. Next week we're going to talk about deciding. How do you decide? How do you make a decision? What does what does this even mean? What kind of decisions have you made in the past? Do you even recognize your own process? We're going to talk about this. Do you need help with this? Do you need more help with this? This is the kind of stuff I talk about all the time in the 5% Club, which is my mentorship program for women who want to earn between $300,000 and $500,000 to be in the top 5% of income earners, all while working 3 days a week. Yep, 3 days a week. or working whenever the hell you want. I love a 3-day work week. That's what I have. And it doesn't happen overnight, you guys, but it's so worth it. This is what I choose to do. I choose to work 3 days a week. So I have those other days where I can be creative, and I can also go kayaking. I can do the other things that I love to do. So I'll love to hear from you. Pop me a message, email me the answers to those questions, and I will see you next week when we talk about what it's like to make a decision and love whatever the decision you've made. We'll talk again. Bye now. Hey, you've been listening to the Lead a Life Uncommon podcast. I'm here helping you create a life to allow you to do whatever the heck you want to do, whenever you want to do it. If you got some value out of this, I'm going to ask you, pop over and give a 5-star review. Subscribe and share this with a girlfriend you know is ready to lead a life uncommon herself. And I want to give you a couple things. Number one is pop over to marybicknell.com/podcast. I have something called the Guide to Your Hidden Thoughts Around Money and Success. You're going to uncover some good stuff there. It's a little workshop I'm giving to you. And another thing I want you to take advantage of is this exercise I did all around connecting with your evolved future self. You're going to love this exercise. It's going to be fantastic. In fact, when you're done, please, please, please go and tag me on Instagram or any of the socials and tell me what you thought. I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say, and I'll chat with you soon. Bye now.